Hello, beautiful, amazing, fantastic world, and you, wonderful, wonderful individual. Today, I would like to speak about the practice of proper conduct, you know, holding well, a steady body posture, your chest out. When you consciously work upon these things, you also start to follow with your inner being, striving towards holding a certain clear and calm, harmonious spiritual world. So the more we meditate and hold ourselves to a practice daily of mastering oneself, the deeper one's understanding of one's own inner strengths and weaknesses become, obviously. So one do constantly being curious and wondrous about growth and not being not being deterred by small trivialities, but truly holding oneself focused and dedicated to a journey that you actually chose, and to consistently and actively practice and bring in the impulses that is needed for your growth, for my growth, his or her growth. It is all about tailoring the growth to you, for we all have different levels of karma and are at our different stages of our journeys. So we all need to find out, where do we stand in all of this? What do we need to do to master our own inner being and to clear out the karma and to make amends and to build up the inner spiritual moral strength required to do this work? For the sun constantly radiates out forces, and if you have constant disdain in your heart, that pulsates outwards. And it's the same with compassion and understanding. We strive for understanding, for comprehension, for insight into this whole development and to what is occurring here on earth. And that requires us to be wondrous and have a certain faith and trust that there are far more behind this sense perceptible reality than we have been taught over our lives. It is about finding out for ourselves anew what truly is playing here, what truly is working within and also outside of the human being. But as we say, the wonder, the curiosity, the awe, it is a feeling of wishing to know the higher worlds in a true sense. And that feeling is a joy, that journey, that whole process. And we use every grace we are given is signs of that is the way we go. We don't do this for the reward alone, but the rewards are kind of the milestones, beacons. It's the pinpointers. So holding yourself steady and strong to the gratitude, being grateful for what you have, and holding a warm soul. For that is something we need to maintain every day, as I mentioned. And our spirit helps with holding our inner being as clean and as harmonious as possible. Of course, there comes in every day new impulses we need to process and come to terms with and understand, but we also need to actually feel them and experience them and truly have a sense for them before we can understand them. We cannot understand emotions from the outside. That is just not possible. We need to truly go inwards and feel them so that one can truly come to an understanding of them. So it is a little different than thoughts, that is more on the surface level. But thoughts is immeasurably important when we infuse it with love, when we warm up our thoughts, when we truly bring heart into our imaginations. And that is when true, well, true divine impulses can show themselves over, well, as we say, this is a journey. This takes time. And it is about being patient and waiting and being open to inspiration. We need to build our character too, for our moral character reflects the spiritual beings we attract. The more we immerse ourselves in the true, the good, the beautiful, the loving, nurturing, but also a steady discipline, a certain inner foundation so that we do not become tempted by things that are destructive and unhealthy for us. So over time we truly root out most of these unhealthy habits and distractions. But all with patience, for when we are thorough and consistent and deepening, it will stick, it will hold, it will become part of you. If we are in a hurry, it will not go deep enough. It will not be worked deep down enough into our being. It will only become, well, abstractions. But if we truly are stable and steady and consistent and every day being in a sturdy pace, for we all have our pace. Some go a little faster, but it is about finding that perfect balanced pace. Not too fast and not too slow. And that we all have our responsibility to find out, of course. But that is the joy of it all, to be curious and to find out over time. That is the whole. That is one of the many amazing parts of this journey. To find all the puzzle pieces first, and then to thereafter bring together this puzzle piece. But one cannot just be given it out willy-nilly. It needs to be studied and practiced and come to an understanding about. And it takes time and dedication. You need to have a sturdy dedication and focus, single-minded attention, a single-minded focus more or less, towards the spiritual, towards redemption, towards inner growth and development as a human being. And for us human beings to develop and grow and evolve as inner spiritual soul human beings, we need to, or we don't need to do anything, this is the freedom, but we should ask the higher realms for help, because they have gone through the human stage and they have the proper faculties to help us with, and they are the hosts of the Christ, our Redeemer in the first place. But it is about holding that balance, and they are only found in the moral, they are truly found in the moral realm. You know when these beings are gracing you with their presence, because they are undisputably moral and good and lawful and disciplined. They cannot, even if they would try to hide as something else, their nature would be very clear. It is all about what comes out of that being, what is their intention, what is the goal, what is their essence, And take Michael, for example. He is pretty darn undisputable, pretty heavenly, undisputable in his being. He truly is a real sun archangel, the biggest of them all. A big brother indeed. I just love Michael. He's kind of that silent big brother that you feel ashamed and when he is disappointed in you, and you really feel a certain joy and happiness when he nods in silent approval to you. And he, as I have mentioned, takes care of the consequences of our karma here on earth. Every action and thoughts and feelings we do, he takes out into the cosmos so it can be worked upon and come back again as karma in a later time. So he does a very important work, and very close to the Christ too, because he is the karma holder, the Christ. So being strong in the compassion and love and, well, the moral discipline, holding oneself clean in one's own inner being, to more or less set oneself to, there are certain things we do not do because we feed our inner being certain certain nourishments by doing so. So, do we wish to nourish ourselves with unhealthy inner thought foods or healthy foods for our soul and spirit? And I personally know what I would choose and what I choose, and I will stick with it. But it is always a challenge, And this challenge is about holding to the practice. Steady, consistent. For when you are steady and consistent and show up for yourself and show up for the practice and the dedication, you will see results. And as we said, it is not for the results we do this, but we always have to remind ourselves that even if we do not see visible results at any time, there is always growth. And I will leave you with this. So, thank you so much for listening to me. May Father, Holy Spirit, Christ, my God, ancient masters of old, ancestors from every incarnation, bless, protect, guide, and love you. And may you be provided for with all that you need to survive, live, thrive, and be creative and inspirational. So others can be the same if they choose to follow. And yeah, may you be safe and sound. Thank you so much. Goodbye.